So you're probably wondering what I'm up to. Well, this is my sewing machine. I got it a couple years back as a gift and I haven't gotten around to use it that often. But my boyfriend showed me this screenshot of this Twitter about an Appa hat and I decided that I wanted to make it. I tried to go on her TikTok and try to find if she had a tutorial video, but she didn't have any, or maybe I didn't see it, but I just went off of her picture. So right now I'm just dusting off all the nasty stuff on my sewing machine and I'm gonna get started. Feel free to follow along if you want to make your own hat. So for this project I got both of these from the Joann store. It was about $15 total, 1 yard of the white fabric and a half yard of the brown one. The brown one will be used for the arrow and the white one is for the overall bucket hat. These are the patterns that I will be using today. I got them off of the Essential Club website. I'll link her video down below. She actually really does a really great tutorial video for bucket hats. For the arrow, I had the center line be 14 inches and then the outside lines to be 12 inches. From the middle line or the center line to the outside line, it's about 1 inch wide, and then from the outside line to the outside point of the arrow, it's about 1.5 inch, and then what I'm doing is I'm just connecting that top point all the way down to the sides. Sorry if that's a little bit confusing, but I hope you know what I mean. But at the end you should have 4 patterns that you'll be using for this. Now I'm pinning down the pattern onto the brown fabric and cutting it out. So this is what it should look like, and I'm gonna put it off to the side. Now for the circle top, you only need 1 pattern for this, so I'm pinning it down and I'm cutting it out. And it should look a little bit something like this. Moving on to the brim, I made sure to fold the fabric in half, and where the pattern says on the fold, you're going to face it towards that way. Pin it down and cut it out and you should get something like this. You'll need 2 pieces for the brim. For the headband, it's the same process. Go ahead and place the pattern on the fold, pin it down and cut it out, and you should get something like this. You'll need 2 pieces. Once you're done with that, you should have 2 headbands, 1 circle top, 2 brims, and 1 arrow. So when looking at a fabric, there is a bad side and a good side. The good side is the furry side, and then the bad side is the flatter side. So for this portion, I will be working on the headband. I am putting the good sides together, facing towards each other, and I am going to pin it up the sides on both ends of the headband. Once I'm done with pinning the headbands down, I am going to sew up along those pins. Here is a closer look at what I just did. So now grabbing the headband and the circle top, I am going to be attaching them to each other. If you look at the headband, you'll see that there is a diagonal line that goes a little bit inward. You want to make sure that you're attaching the circle top to the side that's going inwards. So I've pinned it all the way around, and you want to see what it looks like when it's flipped. That is what you're trying to go for, so you know that it's pinned in the right place. After pinning it down, what I'm doing now is I'm going around and following the pins, and I am sewing it all around the top portion. So take out the pins, do another flip check, and there you go. You have the top portion of your bucket hat. Now I'm getting ready to put the arrow on, just making sure that it's centered and it's placed a little onto the headband portion. It's okay if the arrow tail is a little bit long. You can always chop it off later. Now I'm done pinning it down and I'm going to get ready to sew it. So for this part, I did struggle a little bit just because I was afraid that the arrow would be moving around, and the fabric itself is really hard to work with. So if you're doing this too, just take your time. If you can hand stitch this portion, I would really recommend it. So right now I am working on the brim. I am using the same method as the headband portion. I am facing the good sides together and I'm pinning the sides down. And what I'm going to be doing next, again, I will be sewing up along the pins on the side. Here is the close-up shot of me just sewing up the sides of the brim. Oh, hello travelers! Here is the finished brim. I'm just trimming off some of the uneven spots, and yeah, that is it. It should look like that. To make the brim a little bit sturdier, I went ahead and sewed all the way around. I did about 6 to 7 lines and I spaced it about a centimeter apart. Now taking the brim, I'm going to be facing it good side together against the headband portion and I'm pinning it all the way around. Now I am just sewing it all around, following the pins. Be careful with this part, I did stab myself a couple times. So now I am just cleaning up the random threads, cutting off parts that I didn't like. But yeah, there you have it. Here's my Appa hat.
And action. Truffles, have you seen Appa? Do you know where he is? Appa! Yep, yep!